Hello everybody, Resonance here, and welcome to another Hearthstone deck review. Today I'll be playing a deck submitted by ChrisTheWizard, and it appears to be some sort of C'Thun Paladin. During this series I'll be giving you guys my thoughts on the card choices and playstyle to help you improve your deck building and understanding of the metagame. Without further ado, let's go to the collection manager and check out the deck list. So, this is ChrisTheWizard's C'Thun Paladin. This is a very interesting deck list and a more budget deck list, which was something that I was originally going for with the series, because this is primarily tailored towards newer players. But I will be showcasing, of course, non-budget decks. That's something that veteran players would also be able to take advantage of. But this specific episode is going to be on more of a budget list, or what appears to be one. So, obviously the win condition with this deck, it's a C'Thun Paladin, so it's built around our good tentacled friend, C'Thun. Battlecry, deal damage equal to this minion's attack, randomly split among all enemies. This is our finisher and our win condition, and so, to make C'Thun swole, we run other C'Thun minions, such as the Beckoner of Evil, Disciple of C'Thun, Dwylid Geomancer to give our C'Thun taunt, Dwylid Elder to make him bigger, and of course, he calls the deck Survive with 2 explanation points because, according to ChrisTheWizard, the idea behind it is to survive the early phase of the game and get the stronger stuff out and win the late game. How do we get there? We've got things like Humility, Consecration, Hammer of Wrath, some removal spells. We've got Sedge and Shieldmaster for taunts, Azure Drake for card draw. So this is good. This is something that I cover in my Hearthstone tutorial, which I definitely recommend that you guys check out first, is that the makings of a good general, mid-range deck, which is what you're going to gravitate towards if you're new, because that's where a lot of the basic cards are the strongest. You want to make sure that your deck has some taunts, some card draw, efficient cards, and these two are just a great core for new players. Azure Drake is one of the first cards I recommend anyone crafts. We also have some more card draw and Blessing of Wisdom, interesting choice, Forbidden Healing for extra survivability, Divine Strength for some small little buffing, and we have a Raid Leader as well for some extra buffing, some more huge taunts. Bog Creeper, a great budget card. And Ragnaros Lightlord, his is actually golden. I'm assuming this is one of his few legendaries, and it's golden too, so yeah. My preliminary thoughts, and I'll give you guys more of my thoughts near the end once we've had a chance to play with this deck, is that some of these cards might not have the right fit in the deck. I do like the deck idea. It's just I look at, for example, Raid Leader, and this is a card to me that, you remember the vanilla test? I cover this in the tutorial. 3 mana 2/2 is awful stats. We'd expect a 3 mana 3/4 with no text, or a 3 mana, or if it has text, that it should be equivalent to those missing stat points. So your Raid Leader has to hit 3 minions with the buff for it to be good. I think that's going to be pretty hard unless we're running a really aggressive Paladin list that just happens to have lots of super duper cheap cards. We're just trying to flood the board. I don't know if Raid Leader is going to be that good. Also, right off the bat, I think that Equality is just such an essential card in the current Hearthstone metagame as a way to deal with all sorts of different board states, particularly lots of the huge late-game threats, and to deal with those obnoxious taunt minions and whatnot, all the mid-game threats too. I think Equality is kind of mandatory, and it's really good with Hammer of Wrath and Consecration. So, I'm assuming he doesn't have Equality, but yes. So, anyway, we'll give it a shot. Maybe too many 1-mana cards. We'll see. Now, of course, if you'd like me to review your deck, or just see me play Hearthstone, then you want to head over to my Twitch page and scroll underneath the video player there to find my live streaming schedule. I do update that about every few days, and if you follow me on Facebook and Twitter, you will get updates on when I'm streaming next. Every now and then I do a Hearthstone stream where I do some deck reviews. Sometimes I'm just playing. And today we're playing against Hunter, which is, of course, the bee's knees. Alright, when it comes to mulliganing, I do not want to keep Blessing of Wisdom, because we want early cards to put it on. I do not know if I want to keep the Hammer of Wrath. So I don't necessarily have a minion to put this on. I'm not going to play it until, way later. I might want to keep Hammer of Wrath, but at the same time, probably not. I can see myself coining this out and then playing this, so maybe we don't keep the Hammer. I would like to see the Hammer, though. I would like to top deck it later. This is okay. So if we remember the deck list, Blessing of Wisdom, I feel like, again, is the type of card that is good if we are running lots of cheap dudes. So we just always have bodies to... Oh god, it's a face hunter. I'm sorry, Chris. We lost, boys. The thing with the deck review is that I expect, like, inconsistently to just randomly win and randomly lose my games while I just give thoughts on the deck. So it doesn't really matter to me if we win or lose. It doesn't really influence my opinion of the deck too much. I just need to get a feel for it. I imagine that we would have trouble versus Face Hunter regardless, but we do have some. You know, we've got some healing, we've got some taunts. But anyway, I was going to say Blessing of Wisdom is the type of thing. The same with Divine Strength, where that's good if we run lots of little dudes, so we guarantee ourselves bodies to put our buffs on. Here, if we're playing like a slower control... He did not hit my face. I think he's going to regret that decision slightly. So, I don't think we run enough little dudes to buff with Divine Strength and Blessing of Wisdom. I feel like a lot of the time... I mean, like, maybe Divine Strength is a little bit more reliable. Blessing of Wisdom is the type of thing where we need a minion to stick on the board and then play Blessing of Wisdom so it draws the card. So, you know, the minion needs to live a turn. At least with Divine Strength, I mean, still we want to live a turn. I think the... I mean, at the very least, I feel like Raid Leader is the weak link here. I can see the argument for Divine Strength and Blessing of Wisdom, but what I would like to smooth out the mana curve a little bit is... Because this deck does have a pretty good mana curve. Again, I think ChrisTheWizard did a really good job, you know, building this with the tools that he has. And I can tell that he understands, you know, a lot of the most important concepts of deck building. So I'm always just... I mean, I'm super pleased regardless. Like, if someone sends me a deck list that has just, like... You know, it's got Angry Chicken, the Silverback Patriarch, and just, like, no mana curve. It's got, like, 10 1-mana cards and, like, 10 10-mana cards. I'm happy regardless. Now, do I want to coin consecrate here? That feels pretty weak. We're going to start with this trade here. Because, yeah, I would prefer it hits the Twilight Geomancer. Do you hear its call? Listen closely. Yeah, so anyway, I think that the list is actually pretty well built, and that there is a lot of flexibility, of course, to this. So just keep that in mind when you're building your own deck, is that my suggestions are suggestions. I don't think that... Like, there's a lot of room for this. I still think, though, because you want to make sure that your deck feels like it has its own sort of identity. I do think, though, that regardless of what you're doing, that Raid Leader is not the card we're looking for. It needs to buff, like, 3 minions for it to be good. And, you know, that could easily be a Shattered Sun Cleric, which just does Raid Leader's job better, unless you happen to be swarming the board, or it could be another 2-mana card, because I feel like that's where we're a little lacking. Maybe, like, Acidic Swamp Ooze or something. It's coming. I think we'll just do this. I don't want him to have a beast on the board for Houndmaster. Yeah, so I think we need another 2-mana card. I would say that 4 2-mana cards is... You know, we have a lot of 1-mana guys, but they're not like things we're going to play on an empty board. So I think we need another 2-mana minion. And I think Raid Leader could easily be turned into a 2-mana minion of our choice. And, you know, that's up to you, Chris, depending on what you have. You know, I think we need another 2-mana minion of some sort. Yeah, Acidic Swamp is a good, decent option if you have a limited collection. Stranglethorn Dagger is kind of scary. Cannot deal with that reliably. Cannot humility it either. So we're just going face. He's so defensive with this. I think we could, like, Raid Leader and then play like a Beckoner of Evil. Handle it. We're going face. Because all of his minions are stealth, so we have to. I think, in general, Shattered Sun Cleric is going to be almost always better than Raid Leader, but, yeah, if that's a 2-mana minion, I guess I'm trying to preserve the soul of the deck. You know, I could come in here and I could be Dr. Resonance and, you know, do some heavy surgery. It's just, I want this to feel still like ChrisTheWizard's deck. You know, like, personally, I think I would run True Silver Champion over Hammer of Wrath, because it also has that, like, healing aspect to it, and it's just really good for board control. But then you lose out in some card draw, and then, you know, maybe that's actually okay, and you lose out some Azure Drake synergy. Really, Raid Leader, that's the point I want to bring home. I think Raid Leader is the weak link here. I think you could certainly restructure the deck to, like, remove Blessing of Wisdom, Divine Strength, Raid Leader and whatnot, and then, like, swap a Hammer of Wrath for True Silver. I think you could do that, just it would, you know, be a pretty different deck. So we're going to cut the Raid Leader, I think. I like this card too, don't get me wrong. It's just that, it's just Shattered Sunclear. Like, you're gonna be in a situation a lot of the time where Raid Leader is like only giving you like 2 or so attack, like we saw last turn, which is just does not warrant the absolute piss body. And this is just kind of awkward. I could consecrate this, but I really don't want to. Could oh yeah, if I humility this, that means my Raid Leader will live, and then I can use my Beckoner to kill the Argus, because I want to keep his board clear. So we're gonna do that. And I think this is one of his bigger minions. That tells me this is Explosive Trap, because it didn't activate here. So the question is, do I want to play more guys? I still do anyway. Yeah, maybe we do need the card draw from Hammer of Wrath, considering all the little buffs we have, so I think he has an appropriate amount of card draw. I just really like True Silver Champion. Just don't know if there's room for that. He does have some really strong, like, Chris chose some very strong, solid, like, high-cost minions, and this has just a really good base to it. I feel like, I don't know if he has a quality, but maybe Humility could be a quality. Raid Leader could be a quality, and we could keep the Humilities. Then you don't have enough minions, so maybe, like, yeah. Equality is just a very strong card in general. Tough call. Stop deck a huge dude. It's not a huge dude at all. I think we're going face here, but I also think that that's an Explosive Trap, so if I think that's Explosive Trap, I guess I want to preserve my Raid Leader here and I don't really care about the Beckoner of Evil as much. Like, I can't trade into this particularly effectively. I can Humility it, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure the Raid Leader lives this Explosive Trap, and well, in case it's Bear Trap, I'll hit with this guy first. It's explosive. Cool.
Oops, I broke it.
I mean, Raid Leader's feeling pretty good here. He's been alright today. He's been serving me well. I mean, Raid Leader could be Direwolf Alpha. If you have Direwolf Alpha, then, you know, Shattered Sun Cleric is good if you only have, like, 1 or so minion on the board, but Direwolf Alpha is generally almost always better than Raid Leader because it's 1 mana cheaper for a 2/2 beast, and it gives the adjacent minions +1 attack. And you're not going to be in a situation too often where Raid Leader buffs more than 2 guys, so I mean, if you have Direwolf Alpha, ChrisTheWizard, I think that would solve our mana curve problems, and it would be the perfect replacement for Raid Leader. And it would still keep the soul of your deck. Look at this card. Even Bee's Knees runs it. It's a good card. Shit. I love low ranks Hearthstone because this is the actual true casual mode. You play casual, it's nothing but, you know, aggro shaman and like zoo warlock and the hunter, and then here we have some sort of infest capture Jermonger wolf thing. That's a good draw. But I feel like I might consecrate this turn. Do I consecrate this turn?
Should
I do not know. I think I need to start removing some of his minions. Consecrate good? I think Consecrate actually does not get much better than this, to be honest. So I will do it here. Feels bad to not play the Lightlord on curve, but I really want to protect my Raid Leader in this board, because, I mean, I'm feeling the power. I haven't had... See, now he still can't get past my 2/2 taunt, man. I mean, go face. I'm feeling the Raid Leader power. I've been, recommending against this card for a while, but it's been some time since I started playing Hearthstone. I started playing it right before Naxxramas was released, and it's been a while since I played with Raid Leader, but he's feeling pretty good here. I still think it should be a Direwolf Alpha or something. Another 2-mana minion, maybe. Shattered Sun Cleric if you want to preserve the buffing and the curve stuff, but you know, Raid Leader's doing some work here. Raid Leader just gave us lethal. What the hell? Hit it very hard. Well played. We just beat Bee's Knees. Not bad. Win streak bonus stars. You guys want to get to Legend? This is how you do it. Copy this decklist, but to replace the Raid Leader, probably. I mean... He was pretty good to me that game. I just don't think he'll be that good to me all the time. I still think that Direwolf Alpha is the way to go, if you wanted to preserve the soul of the deck. Yeah, if you wanted to preserve the soul of the deck, I think this is the best way to do it. This is, like, almost strictly an upgrade. If you wanted to build, like, a budget control Paladin, control C'Thun Paladin, I think that I would structure it differently. So I will just say that I do like this list a lot. So you get the, you know, my seal of approval, Chris. Well done. I mean, everyone does. Again, even if you send me a terrible deck because, you know, you're new to Hearthstone, you don't understand the concepts, that's what this series is for. It's just that this one is actually pretty well built, and just works. So, yeah, I like it a lot, Chris. So, well done there. I particularly like your choice of, you know, Ragnaros Lightlord. I think it's great. Gives us some healing. I like Bog Creeper for the huge taunts. This gives us just a great late-game curve. C'Thun is an excellent budget win condition for any new player. Just buy one Whispers of the Old God pack, you get this guy. And, you know, a lot of the C'Thun cards are common, so they just allow you to build a really solid budget deck with C'Thun. Azure is so good. I'm really glad Chris picked this. This is one of the best budget taunt minions in the game. So efficient. It has the perfect split of stats. It's not missing any stat points either, because you wanted to have like a little more health and attack, and then hopefully not at the cost of too many stat points. Taunt's worth like 1 stat point, so this is just excellent. And just kills things that are generally played before it. I love that he has some good removal cards, like Hammer of Wrath is certainly good. He has enough, just enough card draw. I was surprised. Consecration, kind of like a staple in Paladin. I do feel like it feels weird to not have the True Silver Champion. I think that the Hammer of Wrath should be a True Silver, but I just... Maybe you wouldn't have enough card draw then, so you'd have to really just start tweaking things, so it's probably fine. Yeah, this is a great C'Thun minion. You picked all the good ones. This is a solid deck. A double Forbidden Healing, I think, is excellent to just keep it, let it survive. The deck has just a solid, coherent theme, and it's just great. Now, what I'm going to do here is that even though I really like the deck, I'm just going to briefly show you how I would build it. But I do want to, again, you know, preserve the soul of your list. So, you know, I think the thing that I would change is, you know, I just make it like a Direwolf Alphas. I think this would just make it perfect. However, if I wanted to just, you know, do some surgery here, then I think how I would build it, and I'm just trying to keep it like a budget thing. We'll just see here. So I think I would cut no Blessing of Wisdoms, no Divine Strengths. I know you probably don't have equalities, but we're gonna put them in here anyway. But again, I'm just gonna try and keep it more on the budget side, because I don't know if you have Elder Peacekeeper and all that stuff. I don't think we need 2 Twilight Geomancers, because we I don't think we need 2 of those, because you can only give C'Thun taunt once. That does allow us to consistently give it taunt though, so let's just look through some basic cards here. Just try and fill this out a little bit. Oh, but we also, before that, I need Loot Hoarders to replace the Blessing of Wisdoms. I think this is also smooths the curve out a little bit. Yeah, we have like a little too many 2-minute cards. Let's see what we got for C'Thun. We want more C'Thun minions. Maybe we need some 3-mana guys. What do we need for 3s? Trying to think of budget options. Earthen Ring Farseer is like a legitimately good budget option. I could certainly see someone running that. But you know, if we're going with like basic cards here, or Raid later, yeah, I can see the argument for Sun Cleric. Do we even need Twilight Geomancer? I don't even know if I'd run this card, to be honest. I feel like giving your C'Thun Taunt has like very rarely won me a game. So maybe I would run this. This is enough card draw. Yeah, I'm struggling to think of like times when giving C'Thun Taunt has won me a game, but I can certainly see the argument for running it. Some other options besides Shattered Sun Cleric are going to be like things like, you know, Direwolf Alpha, Earthen Ring Farseer. Here I'm still trying to like keep his buffing theme, and I feel like Divine Strength, you know, instead of Divine Strength, now what I've done is I've put the buffs on the minions. So at least we have something to play if we have no guys. But at least, you know, if you're a Paladin, you kind of always have bodies. We've shifted the theme of the deck a bit. It's less recognizable than it was before. So I don't know if this is necessarily correct, but this is just kind of what I was feeling. Six Swapus is decent. Like, instead of Humility, like, if you had Elder Peacekeepers, I think that's the way to go, but you might not have that. So, yes, I think that's something that could be done. Sealed Champions is good, Bob. Yeah, I think I'm pretty okay with this. If you happen to have Elder Peacekeeper, then I think that I think Elder Peacekeeper is better than Humility. So at least if we were going back to your old list, and you could run both, but yeah, I like Elder Peacekeeper a little bit over Humility. So anyway, I think that's basically it for this video. I think that was just a solid game of Hearthstone, just a solid deck. So this is me doing some surgery to this deck, but honestly, I don't think that you'd need to go all out on all the changes I did. I would just say that the best thing here is, yeah, Raid Leader for Direwolf Alpha. So again, let me know, guys, for those of you who are watching, if you found this series helpful and entertaining. As always, I really appreciate the feedback, and for those of you who take the time to support the, the non-Age of Empires content, the Hearthstone, Armello, you name it, Prismata, etc. I really appreciate it. It helps with the longevity of the channel, and also helps motivate me to continue doing Age content. So again, thank you so much. I hope that those of you who have been trying Hearthstone have been enjoying it. My tutorials and videos have been helpful. That's the goal. My goal is to, sort of lower the learning curve, the barrier to entry, and help you guys enjoy and appreciate the games that I find fun, and help me unwind after a long, stressful day of work. So, thank you so much for the support. I do read all your comments, even though I don't get a chance to respond to each of them individually. You can find everything you need and more on the YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Great deck, Chris.